Hello, chefs. This is Chef's PSA Podcast. I'm your host, André Natera. Today's episode, we welcome back Jakub Czyszczon. He and I worked together for a number of years. You remember him from a previous episode. We're going to talk about job interviews, his experience in Lyon, eating at restaurant Paul Bocuse, some chef TV shows, and a whole lot more. Stay tuned.
You know what's the worst?
What?
Cooking interviews.
Yeah. Cooking interviews are rough.
You know what makes cooking interviews so bad? Is a lot of times when you're interviewing for a job and you're a chef, the person that's interviewing you is not a chef. And so they think you should probably do this. And I've spoken with so many chefs that will call me up and bitch about the crazy cooking interview that they got to do.
Oh, yeah.
I had one chef that told me he had 2 hours to do 9 courses and a dessert. And I'm thinking like, and you know,
What do you make?
Like, what do you make with 2 hours that you want me to do 9 courses? It's crazy.
Yeah, no, that is. I feel like it's just a lot of the times it's just super unrealistic, you know? And it's like the one thing of like, oh, one thing to cook 9 courses in 2 hours, but another thing to cook 9 courses in a place you've never been in. You know, I feel like that's like the number one thing. It's like, you know, half the time you're walking around asking line cooks where stuff is, you know?
and then the fact that they said, and also dessert. And the thing that drives me crazy is a lot of times it's like, if it's a hotel or a country club or something like that, it's probably a food and beverage director. Or if it's in a restaurant, it might be the general manager or the owner asking you to cook. And they say, oh, and don't forget to do a dessert. And the crazy thing is like the other courses that the chef can put up might be brilliant, but maybe they're not so good at dessert. And there's a pastry chef there.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, the dessert wasn't good.
Yeah. Your vanilla panna cotta wasn't good enough.
Right. So you're not going to give the guy the job or the girl the job that nailed all the courses but didn't hit the dessert right?
Yeah.
It just drives me crazy.
I honestly, I mean, I haven't done too many, but I mean, you were there for the first one I've ever done.
Yeah. Did you do 2 with me or 1?
I think I only did 1 because for the Garrison CDC, I never did a tasting for that one. It was just the original.
It was the blessing.
Yeah, it was just
the knighting.
Yeah, it was just the sous chef tasting, which honestly was really fun. But that was because I knew the kitchen and stuff, and you know what I think was also cool that you did the mandatory CDP tastings. Remember those?
No, I don't.
You don't remember those?
No,
my god, those
tell
were
me.
awesome. I mean, it was like it was either like pleasantly surprising or it was just like, oh my god, this is just such a failure. I mean, you at the Fairmont, you made all the CDPs do tastings, and we went in line.
Really?
Yeah, and I thought that was awesome.
When you say do tastings, like for the job or just because?
Just because it was it was like it was every CDP and sous chef had to do a tasting, even though it was for nothing. It was just like, and it was just for all the chefs.
Wow, I do not remember. This
Oh
at
my
all.
god, it was so good. It was so good.
And the chefs would all stand around. And
yeah, it was like, and it, at the time it was like 15 of us, and so
how do I not remember that?
I don't know, but we would literally stand around, and it was just like, I remember just they were always just so nervous, and a lot of the time it was really cool because a lot of the times you kind of saw who like really cared and who had their finger on the pulse, and it was just like, I mean, I remember there were some surprising ones that you were like, whoa, did not know you had that in your locker, and then some of them were just like.
This is the Mandela Effect Culinary Edition. I don't remember this.
I can't believe you don't remember
No, now, granted, I remember doing tastings, whether they were CDP or sous chef or stuff like that, but I don't remember making them do a tasting with no incentive.
Yeah, no, it was mandatory. It went on for like a year. Like it was because there were so many CDPs.
Yeah,
it was like every week or 2 we just did one.
I mean, thinking about it, I probably understand why I did it. I was probably trying to push people to get out of their comfort zone.
100%. I mean, it worked. Yeah.
But I honestly don't remember that.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool, honestly.
But with chef interviews, one of the things that drives me crazy on a chef interview is like they'll go in and be like, "Hey, I want you to cook something," and then they say, "And I really want you to impress me," and you have no idea what impresses this person.
Yeah.
You have no idea. Like, what impresses you? You want me to go with, like, Noma, or do you want me to go, like, Soigné Chili's?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? What impresses you? I have no idea. You want me to do the coolest wings? or do you want me to forage something? I have no idea what impresses you.
Yeah. And also, yeah, I mean, nine impressive courses for,
Yeah.
Well,
I've talked to people that have interviewed. I have a chef friend that interviewed at a conference center. And he told me not only did they make him do courses, they also made him put on a buffet.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I'm like for how many people? Like, he had to do a buffet for like 10 people. And what's even crazier about some of these cooking interviews, so food and beverage directors that are listening to this, like, some of the stuff you do is stupid. It's stupid. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, you want the person to put on a buffet, and then you tell them, like, oh, by the way, you're 5 minutes late.
Yeah.
You're not getting the job. I'm like, really? For being 5 minutes? Like, it's not Top Chef.
Yeah, no.
It's not a cooking competition. It's a job interview. Like, am I supposed to put up the chicken raw, or do you want it cooked?
The timing criteria alone is crazy.
Right.
Like, why? Like, where does this timing criteria, like how does that correlate?
What do you do for cooking interviews? Like, I know what we did when we worked together, but what do you do, like, before?
So I think, I mean, if I'm going to conceptualize the dish for the cooking interview, I'm going to make sure that it is tasty and foolproof. Like, I can't, like, I'm not going in there to be surprised. I'm not going in there to try to change anybody's life.
Yeah.
I'm just going in there to put up just delicious food that I can make in a timely manner and not put it up sweating and freaking out. Like that's.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like that's the worst thing. You put, like, you go to these cooking interviews and you push yourself too hard, and then you just end up fucking everything up.
Well, we had a large operation where we worked together, and we did so many cooking interviews there, and it was always the same thing. So for people listening, for context, I would always give them a whole fish, an artichoke, a live lobster, and what else am I missing? Whole fish, live lobster, artichoke. Was that it? And a whole
Salmon.
chicken. And a whole chicken.
Yeah.
And a whole chicken, right? So it was like, let's see what you could do. I'd said you could have as much time as you want. You could use anything in the kitchen. We'll even sometimes assign you a helper.
Yeah.
But
you have to use that.
you have to use those. And I want to see 2 dishes with each thing. So not necessarily 2 salmon dishes, but we need 1 to taste, and there's going to be a lot of people, so we need 2.
It's through that is fucking stunning how many chefs don't know how to clean an artichoke. That was the one thing.
That was like
it was always
crazy.
Yeah.
It was great. The artichoke was the one that would break people more than anything.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. That and serving the nicely cooked chicken or breaking down a salmon.
Yeah.
Well enough to where you're not just shredding it.
Right. I mean, I remember I saw a couple of times, like, someone would give their commis, like, here, can you clean the artichoke because I'm really busy, knowing, like, I'm watching, it's like, you don't know how to clean an artichoke.
Yeah.
Or they would say things to me like, hey, chef, do you want me to do artichokes the way I do them, or should I do them how you do them? I'm like, no, do them how you do them. like I know exactly what you're
Just leave
saying.
the choke in.
Oh, I did have someone serve me the choke.
Oh yeah. I was there for that.
Someone garnished the I don't know what they did with artichoke, but they took the choke out, the purple leaves, and they garnished the dish with it.
Yeah, I saw that. I was there for that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, jeez.
That was the ultimate. Everybody was just standing around, and everybody's just like, just like looking at each other. We're just like, I was like, fuck.
Yeah. I mean, and the reason I do that, the reason I would do those, it's like, if you can make a chicken taste good, you can make a duck taste good, you can make a pheasant taste good, you can make all those other things taste good.
Yeah.
But if you can't make a chicken taste good, why am I going to waste a duck on you?
Yeah.
Right?
No, for sure.
Right?
I mean, I thought that, like, each ingredient does show something. It shows a lot, actually. Like, if you can if you can cook chicken properly, awesome. If you can break down a lobster and, like, not overcook it, awesome. Artichoke, for some reason, that was always the curveball for everybody.
Yeah, because everyone skips artichoke practice.
Yeah.
Everyone does. Like, well, just buy the can.
Yeah, just buy the marinated.
Yeah, just buy the or just don't even buy it. Don't ever put it on the menu. No one knows how to clean it.
How
too
dare
hard.
you put artichokes on? It's
Right.
so much worse.
Or just buy the babies. The babies are easy.
Yeah. The babies are easier.
Yeah, the babies are. I'm doing a dinner. I don't know if this podcast will be out by the time I'm doing it, but I'm doing braised artichokes, and I cooked them the other day. I was like, let me do some R&D, and I cooked the artichokes, and I've been ranting a lot about food, and I was like, let me put my money where my mouth is. Let me see if I could get away with just strawberries and cream and just artichokes and just a simple beef dish. And I'll tell you, I think I was right. I know it's subjective, and I know I'm a little bit biased with my opinion that what I created was as delicious as anything I've had this year. But the other people that were around that tasted also kind of agreed. It's like, yeah, it might not have been the most pretty, beautiful dish I've ever done. And quite honestly, I will say it's not.
Yeah.
But it tasted right. It tasted good. And it confirmed kind of what my thoughts were about food is like, we need to go back to making it delicious first.
Well, I feel like that's like 75% of it, you know?
Yeah.
If it's yummy. Making it look pretty is first of all, it's subjective. Secondly, it's, you know,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be that shouldn't be the first thought.
It's
ever.
fleeting.
Yeah, exactly. And especially nowadays, I feel like, you know, things are going like obviously in a more simple direction. But I think the simpler things get, the less you hide.
Yeah.
And I think that serving us like you're saying, like simple cooked artichokes
Right.
in Barrel, and it's all properly
Right.
done.
Yeah. And I did some garlic confit with it. And then when I was done with it, I got a little chicken schmaltz over the top, hot. It was great.
Yeah.
Dipping it with baguette, it was like someone that was there said, "Oh, this tastes comforting."
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right. And there's a lot of food out there that's not broken.
Yeah. I mean, yes, 100%.
Back to the cooking interview, though. When we were doing it, I always knew, like, within a few minutes if they were getting the job or not. And sometimes I felt bad, like they're going to be here for 6 hours, but I knew in the first hour they weren't getting it.
Yeah, just by the way they're working.
Yeah. It's like, oh, they're not going to get the job. And like, you can't go up to someone. I mean, I guess you could, like 10 minutes in and be like, hey, just so you know, you're not getting the job. I already know you're not getting it.
Yeah, but I think for their own benefit, you might as well have them go through it, because then they're also learning something. You know, like, you know, I'm sure also, I feel like a lot of those people that within the first hour, if you can tell that they're not going to get it, they're probably feeling the same thing. And I think everybody should go through that, you know, of just like forcing yourself to like, just, you know, be uncomfortable.
Do you remember when you did your cooking interview? Well, you were interviewing for sous chef?
Yeah, I was interviewing for sous chef. I mean, that was...
Your food was good, though.
I honestly, I was really proud of everything I put up. And I will say, like, it was, you know, it was in front of you. It was in front of Chef Atticus. Shout out Chef Atticus.
Yeah.
Luke was there.
Was he?
Yeah. So it was like kind of in front of a lot of, like, Jason was there. So it was like in front of a lot of
more senior chefs.
Yeah, a lot of more senior chefs. And I was definitely a little nervous.
Yeah.
But I was happy with the food I put up.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. And, you know, speaking of food, I'm going to jump right into this. I know some of the story, but for people listening, you were just at the Bocuse.
Mm-hmm.
How did all that come to be? So can you start, like, how you even got involved with Ment'or BKB to how you wound up in Lyon, 2 months ago?
Oh, it's a long story. I think so. It started off with the Ment'or Young Chef competition.
Yeah.
So I had done it twice.
Was that the one I met you at? The first.
Yeah, the first
I met
one.
you at the first one.
Yeah, the first one was when I was with Joe Maggio.
Shout out Joe Maggio.
Yeah. And
you were his apprentice.
I was his commis.
Yeah.
And that's where I met you. We ended up getting silver. You know, that was like the first time I was ever involved in anything Ment'or related. Then ended up doing it again, this time as the young chef candidate.
Yeah.
Got third for that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just, you know, I think I've always just kept in contact with Ment'or, with Young.
You went to the Mexico qualifiers too, right?
Yeah. So when we got silver, that was the prize. We got to go to watch Kirkley qualify in the Americas, and then they got gold, and that was awesome. And then kind of, you know, fast forward a couple years, like almost a decade probably.
Yeah.
And I think
we were still involved with Ment'or.
Yeah, I think there was always communication.
We did I want to say we did a dinner in Garrison.
Yeah, through you, I think I was always like involved because Jordan was there, and Jordan also competed. I was Jordan's sous chef for context in Garrison. He competed at the same time I competed. He got silver, I got bronze. And yeah, so I think I've just like always kind of been around Ment'or. And then, craziest story, last year, randomly I get, I get an email saying, oh, we're in town. Do you want to go grab dinner with us? And that was with Young, you, Chef Robert Saladicki, Matt Peters, and Stephanie DePalma, who is the candidate.
Yeah, Jamie Chu.
Yeah, and Jamie. And I'm thinking, really cool, but I'm like,
What's going on?
what's going on here? And so we get there, and Chef Robert asks me if I wanted to be a sous chef on the team. And I mean, crazy moment,
Yeah.
like such a pivotal moment. Obviously I have to say yes.
Right.
Not because I have to, but because that's just like the opportunity. That's the opportunity of a lifetime.
Right.
So yeah, I say yes, and it was crazy. I was gonna leave to get married, like literally a month after that.
Right.
The idea was that I was gonna go get married, come back. I was back in Austin for a day, and then I moved to Napa immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Was in Napa for about 4 or 5 months, without my wife, which, shout out to Ega for being awesome and letting me do that.
She should have divorced you.
Yeah, and honestly, seriously, that was, I feel so lucky. And just the whole thing was just, it was a dream.
Yeah. Here's something that maybe people don't know about that experience when I met you and in Vegas at the Bocuse qualifier is you're doing the competition with Joe Maggio.
Mm-hmm.
And part of my role there in the Young Chef competition was to shadow and kitchen judge with Roland Hennon and Andre Soltner.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Andre Soltner.
Yeah. I took an Uber with Roland Hennon and Andre Soltner to get to the competition. And I remember for like the first 30 minutes, Roland Hennon was standing right in front of me and just watching me like a hawk.
And
he was so nervous.
Like, he was critiquing the chefs like loud while I was like he was explaining to me, "Oh, Andre, look at this."
Oh, I was like, I don't remember exactly what I was doing, but I was so nervous. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And like, I mean, Roland Hennon, like for those of you that don't know,
that's Thomas Keller Chef.
Yeah. So I was freaking out.
Yeah, that's Thomas Keller Chefs, and Andre Soltner's a legend.
Yeah.
He just recently passed, but also one of the. I would argue he deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore.
Yes, yeah,
right.
He does deserve.
He does deserve to be on the Mount Rushmore. On Andre Soltner, and it was cool for me to just I was at their hip for like 2 days, just listening to their stories.
It's such a cool experience.
Yeah, it really was.
I mean, the whole thing is insane. Just going back to Napa and the competition. Just being there and you're surrounded by so many talented people.
Mm-hmm. So Matt Peters was just on the show and he talked about the Bocuse process. And he kind of explained that, but for people that are listening, what does the team look like in training? Like, what is that structure?
So a lot of it happens at the CIA in Napa.
At Copia?
Yeah, at Copia. And it's, there's the kitchen there. The kitchen's built out to replicate the kitchen that's going to be in Lyon when you're in the box. Mm-hmm. And then there's a lot of R&D. And the team dynamic is extremely important. You have Stephanie and Bradley.
The chef Stephanie.
Yeah, Chef Stephanie and Bradley Waddle, who's the commis. Mm-hmm. Both extremely talented people. Just honestly, the whole team, the whole experience was amazing. And
you're not on the team if you're not extremely talented.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And then we have 2 assistants, Carson and Alexis, and then we have Amanda, who's kind of doing a lot of the logistical and things in the background. Mm-hmm. And then Sebastian, who is the coach. Mm-hmm. And it was just
and you
and me, and it was just an awesome team. It was a lot of R&D, and then once everything's kind of in place, then you start doing your runs, your practice runs, because it's the difference between the Bocuse d'Or and a show like a competition like Top Chef or anything else is exactly what you're cooking going into the Bocuse d'Or.
Right.
Your every single move has been thought out. You're in the box. You're not thinking. You're just doing something that you've already done countless and countless of times, and it's so like it's such a logistical challenge. Getting all the equipment there, having all the tooling made, the people that make the platter. It's just
Crucial detail.
It's just there's so many little pieces. You're going in there, and everybody's there making the best food in the world. That is the thing. You have 5.5 hours.
So you're in Lyon. I mean, who's there? Who do you see?
Oh, everybody.
I'm seeing pictures, but
everybody. I mean, like any chef you can think of is there walking around.
So Thomas is there.
Thomas is there. Danielle is there. Claire Smith is there walking around. All the legends. You have all the MOFs. The chefs at like Restaurant Paul Bocuse, Olivier Couvin, all these like amazing chefs that like I just have a library of their books, but I don't know what they look like. And then you get there and it's like, holy shit, it's the best chefs in the world.
Yeah. So when the competition's going on, like, what are you sitting in the stands? You're watching, you're cheering.
Honestly, yes, nervously and sitting in the stands. It's just you're watching them. So
are you like in the VIP booth? Are you like in the nosebleeds?
Oh no, we're in the nosebleeds, Jeff. We're fucking cheering. We're cheering on. It's so crazy. The atmosphere is so crazy. It's like a World Cup game.
Yeah.
Like it's like each section has each country sits in their own section.
Right.
They all have fucking bullhorns, like flags, like confetti poppers, like all this. It's crazy. It's so loud. And you're just there, and you're just cheering the whole time. Huge. It's crazy to think about like how, even for example, the Scandinavian countries, it's such a popular thing there. Like the Bocuse d'Or is like people follow it. People like are very, very invested in it. And you could tell by the way that their fans are. They're like this guy, this Swedish guy that's just like fully body painted out to the Swedish flag. For a cooking competition, which is really cool. So the fans are awesome. Just we're all kind of sitting there and cheering and just making I can see the box from where I'm sitting, so I'm also just like watching and nervously checking the time and making sure that they're on time and that everything is like going well. And honestly, they crushed it. Like that was the best run we've ever had was in the Bocuse d'Or.
And she was in the zone.
In the zone, both of them. Yeah. They absolutely killed it.
Yeah.
It was a super, super cool experience.
And you ate at Bocuse? How was that?
I did eat at Bocuse. Honestly.
Who'd you eat with?
Oh boy, that was
like, who's at the table? Who's sitting next to you? Paint a picture for the people listening.
It's me, Sebastian, the coach. A lot of the people that are just involved in Ment'or, Jamie, Young, the people from Crucial Detail, Gavin Kaysen is there, Thomas is there, just legends and heroes show.
Yeah, you just shut up and listen.
Yeah, I would say top three best meal I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
First of all, everything was fucking delicious. And all the dishes, they're just so like legendary. You look at pictures of them in books and like you're like always thinking like, fuck, I wonder what that tastes like,
Yeah.
The truffle soup is insane.
Yeah.
Like the puff pastry is like perfect. The soup is perfect. There's pieces of foie gras on it that are like just perfectly poached. Like not only is it perfect, but like, we were sitting at a table with like 20 people.
Right.
And like, I don't like when you're doing a PDR in a restaurant, like the consistently putting something up 20 times for a single table is pretty hard.
Right.
Making sure everything's hot and everything's going out on time. So like for them to do that for 20 people and at that level of food was also just mind blowing to me. Truffle soup was amazing. The quenelles, the fish quenelles, that are filled with like lobster and there's like this like champagne like
Aile de Brochet.
Yeah, so good. Like perfect. Glazed, perfectly cooked, like temperature wise perfect. The poulet au vessie, the chicken in the pig's bladder, awesome. Like the way they carve it is so crazy. Like the servers are carving, and for that for that amount of people, it's like I think it was like 10 chickens.
Was there a dish that stood out more than any other dish?
Ooh. I really like the quenelles.
Yeah,
I think the quenelles is like one of the best things I've ever eaten in a restaurant.
really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's so good.
And again, back to our point, probably not the most beautiful dish.
Oh no, it's literally 3 perfect quenelles
Right.
of fish mousseline,
Right.
filled with lobster and like a little dollop of caviar, and just
Gratinate a little bit.
it wasn't so they don't gratinate theirs. It's just like it's perfectly just like it's just white. Like the whole dish is white.
Got it.
And it's beautifully presented. The textures are all perfect. Yeah, I mean it's just one of those dishes that you're just like.
So I had another
Shit.
friend eat there recently, and he was sending me a whole bunch of photos. Atticus, you know Atticus.
Yeah.
We work together. So he's sending me a bunch of photos of what they're doing, and he says the most amazing part about this dinner is that now I know what that food is supposed to taste like.
Yeah.
Like you think you know what it tastes like, but you try it. It's like, no, it's different than what you thought.
Yes, 100%. I think that was one of the things as well, is like the flavor. I mean, like even just the chicken, it's not like a fucking poached chicken. It doesn't taste like a poached chicken or a steamed chicken, because I mean it's steaming inside this thing, but like the breast chicken is just so much different than any other chicken I've ever had. It's just like the texture is just wildly different, and it eats so much more steaky than just like this like soft chicken meat. So like that in itself, you're eating it, you're like, whoa, like I've never had chicken that has this texture.
Right.
And it's delicious and it makes sense. And then the sauce is amazing. And then it's just like, yeah, it's crazy. They put these fat slabs of truffles under the skin. So it's just like, it has this like truffle, like aroma, like essence, but it's not like the truffle oil aroma essence. It's just like this like earthy, like just, I don't know, it's awesome.
Yeah. That's very cool that you got to experience that.
Yeah. That was one of the cooler experiences. You get to go to the kitchen.
Yeah.
Really cool. Chef Olivier Couvin, the chef that's there currently, he took me and the coach Sebastian and Gavin to there's a little back room in the house, because Paul Bocuse lives there, and there's like a little living room basically that's like a little bit off to the side of the kitchen, and it hasn't been touched since Monsieur Paul was there. So it's just like this little TV, there's a little table in there, a little couch, it's like the walls are decorated, it has very old school, like kind of French vibe to it.
Yeah.
And like he took us in there and it was like surreal. It's just like, he would spend every day in here eating breakfast. And it's just like this historic thing that just like really hits home.
Yeah. That's super cool. Did being at the competition give you the itch to compete? Like, and before I let you answer that, I remember when we were in Garrison, we had so many chefs come through there, and I don't mean to work. I mean, we had a ton of chefs that worked there too, but I mean, we had a ton of chefs that would come through and eat. And I remember one day, it was like the day before, I think Gabe Morales and Byron Gomez had come through and they had dinner, and then so both of them had just come off Top Chef.
Yeah.
Like the next day, it was like the team from Michelin, Rico and Diego and their team are in the PDR. Tiffany Derry and her CDC is in the dining room. Anastasia Quinones is also in the dining room. Joe Chan shows up with her entire team.
Everybody that was.
It was like the industry fine dining restaurant.
Yeah.
And I remember that day. So it's one of those things that's like, for people that don't know, it's like, okay, the restaurant is closing down, everyone's leaving, but all the chefs stay late. So like Tiffany's there with her team, drinking, and AQ's at a different table. They didn't even know that.
And it was just them.
It was just them, right? And Joe Chan, I think, is there. And I remember afterwards, I'm talking with Tiffany, and I'm like, Tiffany, what do we got to do to get Jacob on Top Chef? Right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's just context for the question. But she had given some advice, like, oh, Jacob, do this, that, and the other. And I remember thinking, yeah, you would do good on Top Chef. At least I thought that back then, competition's tough now, but
it is. I mean, the new season, it's like, I feel like it's really stepped up.
Would you ever do that?
Totally. I mean, I think the Bocuse d'Or, just being a part of that, and being surrounded by all that, I think kind of lit a fire under my ass. I definitely would love to compete in any way. I think just by being in the industry, I think you're just naturally competitive. I think everybody is. And I think the competition thing kind of takes it to another level. And I mean, I would love to be a part of any of that. Yeah, for sure. I think it'd be cool. It's also just a huge blast off, I think, for your career.
I like Top Chef.
Top Chef is really cool.
Of all the TV cooking, I mean, I've been watching Next Level Chef too. I like that show's fun.
I haven't watched Next Level Chef.
It's fun. It's one of those cooking TV shows. It's like, okay, what am I getting myself into? And then you just can't stop watching.
Okay, I gotta check that out.
Yeah, it's good. Did you see the new
Chef's Table?
Yeah, what'd you think? Have you seen it?
I have. Okay, no, I haven't seen all of it. I only watched the Thomas Keller episode. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
That episode, honestly, there were things that I actually didn't even really know about Thomas that episode kind of showed, and I thought it was very well.
Were they filming that when you were up there?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I feel like that had to have been filmed a little bit, like probably maybe 6 months before I got there.
It looks like summer.
Yeah, it looks like summer. I think so. I think it was a little bit before.
I saw the Thomas episode, which was great. And the food looked great.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like it was a mix of the classics plus some of the newer stuff that they're doing.
Yeah,
the cornet and the coffee and donuts, but also like the green salad that they did. The food looked really beautiful. The restaurant looked very beautiful as always. The attention to detail in there. When I was watching it, I was geeking out. They're scrubbing and they're wiping. Like I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely. I like seeing the kitchen stuff.
I mean, honestly, all the kitchen shots, the kitchen's like fucking immaculate.
They did.
It's like damn. Like
yeah. And then I saw the Alice Waters one.
I started watching that one. I didn't finish it, but I got to go back and finish it.
Yeah, so I finished the Alice Waters one, and again, it kind of goes back to my point. There's that one point she's talking about how simple food is, and I'm looking at the food. It's like all that looks delicious. Like it does look like I would eat that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Beautiful salads and stuff like that. It's like it looks good.
Hey, last time I was on this podcast, you were hating on my salads.
That is true. That is true. But it's like. You're not trying to open up a salad. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I also get it. Like, salads are beautiful, and I would eat them, but at the same time, it's like I'm not going to go and try and fucking get a job on my cooking interview, give them a salad.
Yeah.
Right? Back to the cooking interviews. Don't do a salad.
Yeah, don't do a salad.
Don't do a salad on your cooking interview. And I started seeing the Jamie Oliver one, but that was it. I didn't finish it.
Yeah, I definitely... I mean, I love those shows. I think they're even like going back to the Bocuse d'Or thing, so we had to make a pasta.
Yeah.
And so of course, best pasta chef in the country, Evan Funke, comes down to teach us pasta, which is like surreal. It was just like a week-long crash course on pasta.
So what'd you learn?
Oh gosh, so
that you don't know shit about pasta.
Yeah, that I don't know shit about pasta. 100%. That's number one. I mean, he kind of just shows you like how granular can you get with one thing,
right?
For me, before I went through that crash course, I was like, pasta. I love pasta, but do I really understand it? Not really.
2-to-1 or whatever.
Yeah, just fucking. I have my recipe. Sometimes I make it in a Robocoup. But yeah. And then Chef Evan comes.
Don't make
in
it in a bowl.
And it's like, yeah, don't make it in a bowl.
Don't make it in a bowl.
The Chef Evan comes in, and it's like everything matters. We're like, are you kneading it on wood? What is the relative humidity in the room? Like stuff like that. It's just like it's crazy.
What flour was he?
Caputo 00 flour.
Yeah, I went through a phase like post-retirement. I was making pasta every day.
There's so many different types of Ramachinata was another one that we used in the dough recipe, and I've never even heard of that in my life.
What's
Ramachinata? So
what is it?
It's like I believe it's a type of 00. It's a little bit finer grain.
Okay.
So I guess it absorbs water quick. Like there's so much little shit. Like the way that it hydrates is a little bit different. But yeah, and then I mean the whole Evan Funke thing was really cool.
And you're around everyone. I mean, I don't know if Grant's down there, but you got.
He was there. I just missed him, so I was supposed to get there a little bit earlier. But because I was getting married, it was I kind of got there. I showed up a little bit later, so I missed like Grant was there, and I missed that one. But Timothy Hollinsworth was there, a lot. Chef Eric Anderson, who's awesome, he was there all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just surrounded by so much greatness.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah, I wanted to ask you something though.
Yeah, go ahead.
You ever want to go back to the kitchen? You ever think about that?
Well, you know the answer. Let me think what I could say on the podcast that I don't want to get myself in trouble. Because people do ask me this all the time. Would I go back? Of course. I'm not an idiot. Like for the right opportunity, with the right amount of money, for the right concept, of course I would go back. I've had multiple offers, real estate wise, meaning like, okay, would you put a licensing agreement restaurant, an André Natera restaurant inside this hotel or inside this building? Some of them have fallen through. Like I've gotten very close to the end, and then we just can't agree on terms. So that's why I'm cautious about saying who. Others, and it's not always in Texas. Like I've talked to people in other states as well about putting something in. And other times, like people approach me about wanting to open something up and attach my name to it, but it's a concept that I don't want to do. So I am looking for a bit of a unicorn. So I would for the right opportunity, but I'm also okay if it never happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm also very much okay with what I'm doing now. A couple of the ideas that I've kicked around that I think would be nice is I would love to open up a Mexican steakhouse. And I know we've talked about that. Like I want to do a Mexican dinner with you.
Yeah.
I would love to do like a take on a classic steakhouse, but through the filter of Mexican food. And Gabe and I and Rico have talked about it. We'd love to do that. Like, hey, if anyone's listening, you want a licensing, you want a 3-for-1 deal, that's it right there. Maybe we get Jacob, maybe we get Laura Sawicki too. I mean, it'd be fun. I think a Mexican steakhouse hasn't been done well.
I 100% agree. And I think the way steakhouses blow up is, first of all,
and that's
crazy.
also why I want to do it, because I also know that it's like, it would be profitable.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Like, I'm also thinking, like, I also don't want to close in a year.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like, okay, is it just me, or do you feel like the steakhouse is like making a super strong comeback?
I think it is. I think now that we've addressed the elephant in the room, that it's about making delicious food and it doesn't have to be dainty all the time.
Yeah.
I think it gives a great opportunity for steakhouse, but I do think they got to rethink it a little bit, because a lot of steakhouses feel the same. So you have to be an exceptional version of what already exists.
Yeah.
But people have come to me about wanting to do very high-end concepts. And normally when, like, this is how the conversation goes, is, a peek behind the curtain. If someone comes up to me, a real estate investor or whatever, or a hotelier, and they're like, hey, we'd love to put a concept in there. Like, what are you thinking? I'll give them like 3 concepts. Like I'd love to do a bistro. I'd love to maybe do a live fire concept that's, vegetables and meat and, think beautiful prawns on the grill with a simple sauce and family style, but good service, fun, good music, hip hop, whatever, or a Mexican steakhouse. Those are the concepts I present. But they sometimes say, well, we want the farm to table, high end tasting menus. Like, I kind of don't want to do that, because I'd have to be there all the time, and I don't want to be there all the time.
Yeah. I think this, in terms of profitability, I think the steakhouse is the way to go.
Margaritas and steaks, man.
Margaritas, steaks,
and Mexican food. It's like, it's cash cow.
You do like 400 covers,
right?
Like you just crush. I think the, obviously the tasting menu thing is that definitely has a place. But
I don't want to do that though. Like having a restaurant that is like super fine dining tasting menu, it would require so much of my time. I wouldn't be able, unless I like put you in there as the chef, and it's like, oh, it's Andre's restaurant, but Jacob's doing all the food. I just can't commit to that. It's too much. Like I have so much going on with Chef's PSA. I don't want to be on the line every single day making sure that's right, because it's like I kind of did retire. I retired for a reason.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back in, but a licensing deal or a concept deal where it's like, I'm going to show up, I'm going to design it. I'm going to do my thing, but I'm not going to be there every day. There's a chef. I would consider that.
Yeah, I think that's fair. How's the prep going for the dinner for the?
I haven't even started it.
What is that?
The 18th of May.
18th of May.
Yeah, so it's Sarah Hurd and I. So Sarah and I worked together. She was my sous chef or chef de cuisine. I don't remember exactly. She ran the restaurant, and this is the Chefs That Raised Us series. So her and I are collaborating on the menu. So we're looking at kind of items that she already has on her menu already. So I think we're doing a culotte steak, and I wanted to do something like I've been talking a lot of shit. So it's like I want to do like an onion soup flavor. So I cooked the onions in a bag. I put a lot of umami in there, some kombu, some miso, some smoked soy sauce from Foods and Season, a little bit of olive oil, bagged them, some other stuff. I'm not thinking about it. Bagged them, cooked them at the set temperature, and then once they come out, I glaze them. So there's the onion, there's a palm aligot next to it, so trying to get that Gruyere flavor with it. The steak, I did the old seasoning, the mushroom,
the wakame,
the salt, the black peppercorns on top of the steak. Cooked it sous vide, and then I also cooked it in a pan. So I wanted to do 2 iterations of it, so like figure out which one tastes better. Ironically enough, sous vide tasted better, and then brush it afterwards with a little tallow made with rosemary and garlic. Slice the steak up, and then the broth that I made for the steak was I made onion soup. Basically, that's what I did. I made onion soup, but I reduced it so it was like a jus consistent and strained it so it's clear. But it has all onion soup flavor. So when you're tasting it, you taste the onion, you taste the meat, you taste the Gruyere. It tastes like onion soup.
It sounds delicious.
It was honestly very good.
Yeah,
it was honestly very good. And then I did a panna cotta. So they do panna cotta at the restaurant. So like, let's do panna cotta. So I wanted to do like strawberries and cream, which is I've been talking a lot of shit about it. And I know it's not like the most exciting thing, but we got some beautiful strawberries, and I did them 3 different ways. So some of them, the ones that weren't so great, I grilled them. The ones that were perfect, I left them untouched, just cut them up. And the ones that needed a little bit of something, I compressed them with olive oil and salt. And so you got 3 different flavors. Put that on the panna cotta, a little bit of olive oil, a little basil, a little Meyer lemon zest. And then I did, are you familiar with like Hokkaido cream?
No.
So Hokkaido cream in Japan, and I might be wrong, but it has more fat in it. So it whips up more like shaving cream luxuriousness.
Okay.
So I wanted to recreate Hokkaido cream. I can't get Hokkaido cream. So what I ended up doing to get that texture was a combination of sweetened condensed milk, heavy cream, and a little bit of xanthan gum. So no like granulated or powdered sugar in the chantilly. Whip that up, and it has like this luscious shaving cream texture. So I put that on the panna cotta, and honestly, again, like
I bet it was good.
It was fucking delicious.
I mean,
and it's like it's not the most beautiful stuff. Like I'm not gonna post it on Instagram. But I guarantee you, everyone that tastes it's like it's not fucking weird. It's very familiar. It's very delicious, and it's like everything tasted comforting. And then I did the artichoke dish, which I told you about.
It sounds good.
Yeah, it's a 3-course. It's $65. It's a great deal. I get to cook with a new team, and thank God they have a team because my back hurts. But I think it'll be fun, and it'll let me see if what my thoughts about food are correct. And I think I agree. But I can tell you what I think is the new.
What's the new?
What's the new? So for people that have been listening to the last 4 episodes that have been hearing me rant and want me to shut the fuck up about this already, I've been wondering, like, what is the new? And I seen it. I finally saw it. And it's what the European chefs, the Bocuses, the chefs that run the Robuchons, are doing in Asia.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of really good.
Their food looks so different. Like, it has this blend of minimalism with perfect technique.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's because the stuff they're getting is like so nice.
Yeah,
like everything they get.
It looks like nothing that you could find right now in the States.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those chefs over there it's just on a whole nother level.
Is Kirkley in Asia?
I believe so. Yeah, I think he's in Hong Kong. I mean the Daniel Clivert, the chef at Cezanne in Tokyo, crazy.
Right.
Crazy. It's so I mean, it's next level. It's so,
Right,
it's
right,
so
right.
nice. He was at the Bocuse.
Yeah, he was like
He was an honorary like he was an honorary. I don't know if he was an honorary judge, but I think he was the chef of honor. Like it was like he was
He's a
like
stud,
he
man.
was the guy. It's crazy because I think he's only like 35, 36.
He got 3 stars, right?
Yeah, he's got 3 stars.
Yeah.
I mean, he's worked everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, just insane chef. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, the food in Asia is just right now. I think, but it's not just Asian food. It's like the European Asian food blend. I saw this beautiful dish that was like, and it's like 2 perfect things on the plate.
I think you said too. Was it the salmon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was like perfect, right?
Yeah, it was perfect. Yeah.
It was perfect. But I know you got a lot of shit going on. I know, and I don't even know if you're allowed to talk about what you got going on. But are you?
Not fully.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely have a lot of stuff going on. Staying extremely busy. Just
I know.
through so many different facets. Yes.
You're like that.
Some of it I could talk about. You know, the I'm still doing a couple of little private events here and there, and stuff like that. But a lot of it, I'm just staying slammed with there's just a lot of opportunities coming my way. A lot of good things in the works.
Yeah.
So
stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that.
I'll have you back when you're ready to talk about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I'm excited for you, by the way. And kind of like what I was talking about, what's interesting about my situation, kind of tying into your situation, is a lot of people do come at you and be like, "Hey, would you like to do this?" That so it's important to say, "Yeah, maybe not that one."
Yes, yeah, yes. I mean, 100%. I think being in this position of doing the private chefing, the thing is nobody's going to try to poach you.
Yeah.
So it's the opportunities come in all the time. So it's just like, and it's nice because I can kind of choose, which is a good spot to be in.
It's good to be a hot commodity. Like I used to joke around when I had stepped away and you were still in Garrison. Mm-hmm. I used to say you're the most talented chef in Austin that's not retired, or Matt Peters.
Yeah. Matt always has to make his way into there.
Yeah. But yeah, let's talk the kitchen, chef. So you're working the line.
Mm-hmm.
You have your station set up. What's on? First of all, when you arrive to work, what are you doing? Like, how are you setting your station?
So I think that there is a universal standard.
What's your universal standard?
So obviously, I'll set up my board.
What kind of board?
I really liked the ones that we had at the hotel, the kind of like the composite ones.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't because their knives dig into them and stuff like that.
But they're better for your knives.
I agree, they're better for your knives. I think like wooden boards, like the booze blocks and all that stuff, get kind of nasty over time.
If you don't treat them right, they do get.
Yeah, and I just feel like I've seen them just misused a lot.
I was at a place that they hired me to consult, and I won't say where. But that was the first thing I did when I got there. I threw away all their boards. They were covered in mold and they stunk.
Nasty.
They stunk like mildew.
Yeah. I prefer those. Those composite ones are great. Obviously, I like to use silicone underneath my board. I've been doing that a lot now. You could buy like these like rolls of thin silicone on Amazon, and you could just cut them. And I'll use that to hold my board down, which I like. I prefer it to the wet towel. I prefer it to the little like, I don't know what they're called, the little like rug non-slip things that people put under their rugs. Yeah, people use those a lot. Yeah. The thin silicone honestly works really well.
Silicone roll on Amazon?
Yeah, just find, you can find, they're like these thin, it's like a thin little like just sheet of silicone. And honestly, it's good to have around if like if you're ever doing any R&D or you want to, make a stencil or you want to have some sort of like thing like that, it's honestly great to use silicone to cut it out of. So yeah, I'll do that. Nicely folded towel, right, right above the board. Steel, whatever knife I'm using. Biggest pet peeve is I hated when people put like 6 fucking knives in front of their board. Is like,
and they only need one.
Yeah, and you literally are just using one, and it's like, what, why? Like, why do you have 6 knives?
Right.
Like in front of you. So one knife, handle to the right, blade facing away.
Yeah.
Never towards you. And then depends on what I'm doing. I like to have like some sort of trash container, compost container. So I'll do 2, usually a Bain Marie or something like that.
Do you do blue tape or green tape?
I like the green frog tape.
Yeah. You use the frog or the Scotch brand?
I like the frog tape.
I like the Scotch brand.
Really?
Yeah, it sticks better. I feel.
I mean, honestly, I don't think I've ever used the green Scotch. Is it the same thing as the blue one?
It's the same thing as.
Oh, I guess I mean the frog tape does kind of have. It doesn't stick like I mean it sticks, but
I
it's
feel
not.
like the adhesive isn't perfect.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think I do like the stickiness of the blue tape, so maybe I switch over to the green.
But you could
Scotch.
get you could get the green Scotch. That's what I use at home.
Yeah,
it's great. Are you a Sharpie guy or a Milwaukee something? I forgot what they're called. Like sometimes I'll put up there on Chef's PSA like Sharpie. There is no second best, and then all of a sudden like no, you got to use Milwaukee pens. I think they're called Milwaukee pens.
I've never used those in my life.
Apparently they're better.
For me, clicky fine tip Sharpie.
I like the
clicky fine tip. I like the clicky fine tip. One, because my handwriting is fucking atrocious and I write really small. So like when I'm using a Sharpie, like the first 10 labels, when I have a brand new Sharpie, it's really...
Do you know why I hate the click Sharpie?
Why?
Have I ever told you why?
No.
Because a lot of people put it in their coats.
Oh, because they unclick and then
it stains the chef coat.
Yeah.
And if like I'm paying for the uniforms, I constantly have to buy them new uniforms. That's number one.
Yeah.
Number 2 is there's nothing worse than the cook that just stands there and click.
Oh,
click,
it clicks.
click, click.
Yeah.
And, like
it's
you're
like
trying to focus.
That like flings the tweet like you like have the tweezers and you do the little like clicky thing.
Yeah.
Tweezers or tongs.
Yeah.
Drives me fucking nuts.
That's why I'm not a click Sharpie guy. Okay, and then when you're working the pass for dinner service, what's on your station setup? Besides the cutting board and all that, like what are you finishing with? What kind of citrus are you using? Are you citrus or vinegar or both?
I think honestly lemon squeezers.
Yeah.
For me are
like little lemon cheeks.
Yeah, I think lemon cheeks. I mean, it's just so much fresher. I don't mind vinegar. I just feel like there's just so many. Like to me, there's like not really a universal vinegar that could just go with everything.
Yeah. And you think lemon does?
I feel like lemon just is just
fair.
The ultimate, like just you add a squeeze of lemon to it, and like it's just like it just brings
universal
freshness
brightness.
and just nice brightness, and it's like you can't put your finger on it. That's for sure a lemon.
Right. Finishing salt. What do you do?
I like Jacobson salt. Yeah, the one out of
I'm from,
I think it's out of Oregon or Washington.
Yeah,
somewhere Pacific Northwest. Yeah, I mean, really, really good stuff.
But they have a variety of salts, don't they?
Now they do. Yeah, I remember it used to just be like just finishing salt, like flaky salt.
Yeah.
Now I think they have like smoked salt.
Yeah.
And you know what I saw the other day? It's really funny. I saw Malden salt. Now they have it with like gold flakes.
Why?
I don't know. Like they got gold salt now you can buy it from Malden. I mean, cool. Whatever.
For that Mexican steakhouse.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You're gonna be the next Salt Bay chef.
Yeah. What about kosher salt? What do you use? You like
Diamond Crystal?
Diamond Crystal, not Morton's?
No, Diamond Crystal. I know I'm from Chicago, but Diamond Crystal.
No, I'm with you. I use Diamond Crystal also. I just wanted to see what you say.
It's actually kind of crazy the difference. Because when I was working in Chicago, everybody's using
Diamond Crystal's hard to find for home cooks.
Yes, it is. It is really hard to find out for home cooks. Everybody's using Morton's in Chicago, and that's just the way I was seasoning food for years and years and years. And then I go to a kitchen that starts using Diamond Crystal, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, it's so much. It's so different.
Where do you stand in 2025 on microgreens?
Ooh. I feel like I mean, I guess it depends. Yeah. What do you consider a microgreen? Is it like the fucking rainbow mix?
No.
Just
the intensity of it. Not the intensity mix, but like maybe it's sorrel or oxalis or something like that.
I think less is more.
Yeah.
And I think that obviously take into account the flavor of the microgreen.
Well, you bring up an excellent point. Here's something I would love chefs to think about, is that those microgreens are actually very intense.
Oh, 100%. Like
I don't think people think about how intense they are.
The cilantro blooms that like a lot of people use now, they're so intense.
Yeah.
Like if you put it on anything delicate, it's just all I taste is like extremely hard.
I'm not a fan of the cilantro blooms unless it's like we really need it.
Yeah. Or like if the dish is small and dainty enough to where you could put like one of the little flowers on top, cool.
Yeah.
But if you're putting like the big pluches that have like 5 flowers on it, then it's like very, very intense. I think less is more. I think like there's no reason to just like cover something with micro like
a Christmas tree.
Yeah, it's just like all you really need are maybe 5 of anything.
And you should taste it.
And and it should make sense.
Yeah.
And don't use rainbow mix.
No.
Yeah, and there's just certain microgreens that I just like. Honestly, they just don't look nice.
Yeah, like what?
I don't know, micro basil.
You don't like? Yeah, it doesn't look.
It
good.
just looks.
But I do like basil buds. Like for
I think basil buds. Yeah, basil. I prefer just tearing basil. I think it just looks better.
Fair.
Or you could cut it into something, or it's also like everything doesn't have to be micro. Like
no, I agree.
Like fresh herbs on anything, you could cut them nicely. You can, it's like you don't have to.
Yeah.
What's
something that you do that maybe a lot of people don't know to enhance flavor? Like what is something that for the cook, the chef that's listening right now is like, have you thought about enhancing flavor by doing this?
I think I mean everybody does the whole hidden umami thing.
How do you do umami?
I think there's just so many different ways.
What's your go-to?
You could spray things with
like with an
lacto fermented liquid, or you could you could obviously always sneak MSG into shit, but that's kind of cheating.
Is it? Handashi is a good trick.
I love a good one. Shirodashi is a good one. A lot of people use shiokoji nowadays. Then there's the 2 different types of shiokoji. There's the one that's like actually like it's like blended koji, like blended
dust?
rice, and it's like sometimes it'll come in like a liquid form. It's like this like white like liquid. That's really good for like curing fish, or putting it on like a piece of steak for an hour and then doing that. I think that's a good one. I love shiokombu. And I feel like a lot of people don't use shiokombu, but I think it's so yummy. It's so good in like herb sauces. Yeah. Like if you do like a chimi, or you're doing like a salsa verde, and then just like having this like
a little bit of shiokombu,
like just haché it and throw it in there, and it kind of like rehydrates, and then you get like this like super like little umami, and it also is kind of like textural.
I remember you showed me that. I had never seen it before, and
I really like. The first time I ever used it was in Hawaii. We used to put it on this amazing cabbage dish.
Where did you show me that with? Because I remember I was like, "What is this? This is really good." What did you? Oh, you put it on a salad, maybe?
I think I first salad. Salad is gonna haunt me forever. I think I used to put it. We used to put it on the grilled. We actually used to put it on the grilled cabbage in Garrison. And then I used it in so many things. I used to put it in a lot of like herb sauces.
Yeah.
It was just like it's just so yummy.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what else you did that was like I don't know if we said this last time you were on the show, but it's like I remember we were talking in the French Laundry per se book. They talk about
Veg Blanc.
Not the Veg Blanc, the prehydrated xanthan.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, "This is brilliant," and I'm looking at it like, "Why did we never do this?" He's like, "Yeah, I've been doing that forever." I was like, "Why the fuck didn't you ever say anything?" Like I just discovered this, and you've been seen as like throw key bumps of xanthan gum.
Yeah. I remember reading some like recipes in places I worked at where it's like key bump xanthan gum is like come on.
It would get all gluey and
you have to blend it. It's like if you can't just that was I feel like that's everybody's issue with xanthan gum is like. You're fucking making something in a bowl and you're whisking it together. Yeah. And the recipe calls for a little bit of xanthan gum.
Stuck to the whisk.
Put your xanthan gum in there and then you start whisking it. It's like
it's stuck to the spoon.
It's like that one guest is just gonna get that one little booger of xanthan gum.
Yeah.
It's like why? Yeah, you have to blend it.
Yeah, you have to. Okay, last question, Chef. If you had a Mount Rushmore of chefs out there, not me, you can't put me on that Mount Rushmore. Thank you though.
Chef.
All joking aside, who would you put up there as the Mount Rushmore of chefs for you?
Oh,
for Jakub Triple Z.
Honestly, number 1, Paul Bocuse, for sure. I would say number 2, I would put Thomas Keller in there. It has to be. It's 4, right?
4.
Ducasse, I would say number 3.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, just
He was
insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then honestly, it's like I love Marco. I think Marco number 4, just because I don't know. I just like Marco is just so cool, and like I like all of his books are so good, and like he's still relevant. He's
How many
just a
books
fucking
does he have?
badass.
I only know White Heat. Does he have other books?
I think he has. I'm pretty sure he has other books.
We're gonna have to find out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think there's one with like.
I mean, there's The Devil in the Kitchen.
I have that one.
Yeah, and then there's White Heat.
and then there's. I think he has a couple like actual cookbooks,
Like for home cooking.
Yeah.
Like that. Sometimes Marco wears funny hats though.
Oh, the fucking towel thing is awesome. I love it on the BBC thing where he's talking about he's like I'm a home cook now, and he's just doing the garlic slicing.
Yeah.
No, but he's just so intense. Like
Yeah,
he's
he
just
is.
such an intense guy. But I don't know. I've always looked up. Seen the video that he does for Nor where he's like, this is how you chop an onion. Have you seen that?
Probably. Yeah.
He takes an onion and he like cuts it up like really poorly and then sticks it into a fucking brown bag, like a brown lunch bag, and then shakes it up and then pours out like nicely diced onion.
No.
It's so funny.
No, but that's not him. Like someone made a parody of that.
No. I think that's for real. I think he was like
Oh.
messing around.
I'm pretty sure it's a parody.
We have to check it.
All
I
right,
thought
we're
this
gonna
whole
find
time that he was messing around and it was like a real thing.
No, I think there's a real video of him chopping an onion, and then someone just cut in the shaking it in a bag.
Okay, we need to double check that.
Yeah, let's double check. Anyway, Chef, where can people find you?
Instagram. Hit me up. Just DM me on Instagram if you have anything. Jakub Czyszczon.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll put it here. So
Exactly.
I'll put it in the show notes. Yeah, Jakub Czyszczon.
I have a kind of like a private dining business here in Austin under Tabella, so that's another way you could find me. And yeah, those are the 2 outlets.
Awesome, brother. It's good seeing you. Always.
Good seeing you, Chef.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the show. You know what to do. Make sure you leave 5 stars if you're listening on Spotify or anywhere, really. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button. I've completely revamped the Chef's PSA store, shop.chefspsa.com. My team added a ton of new items. I advise you to go check it out. Just peruse, look around. Maybe you see something nice that you like. Keep supporting the show. Go to chefspsa.com. You get books, obviously the merch, early access to episodes on Substack and Spotify for premium members. We'll see you next week. Hit the porno music.
Yo, it's André in the kitchen, mixing, dropping chef knowledge, no fiction, stirring up the beats, heating up the session. Listen close, class is in session.